this time, 50 pulls out an old video of Diddy on stage slapping Hov on his back, man. All these industry people know that Diddy been acting like this and doing this and try to engage other men into sexual acts with him.
50 Cent isn't taking any days off from trolling Diddy, and he just released a video to seemingly prove that Jay-Z took part in Diddy's male freak-offs. Now, we know that Diddy and Jay are still very close because just months ago, Diddy said in an interview that only 2 people are allowed to call him by his government name, Sean, his mom, and Jay-Z. Diddy also still has a photo of him and Jay on his website, Combs Global, and it looks like he takes a lot of pride in their friendship. But is 50 Cent now implying that Diddy and Jay were more than friends at some point? Or is Jay staying silent on Diddy allegations because his closet is also full of skeletons? Let's get into it.
Be fair, that's what you call it. It's mom. Yeah. Let's go celebrate this.
Ever since news broke that Cassie was suing Diddy for all kinds of depraved acts, including forced encounters with male S-workers, 50 has been exposing all kinds of messy details about Diddy. And now he also added Jay-Z in the chat, seemingly implying that Diddy and Jay have more in common than most people think. Now, 50 Cent and Jay-Z have been at odds for more than 2 decades, and at one point, 50 even accused Jay of buying his way to the top.
America, and think there's a competition there, because America can be purchased. We can buy it with marketing dollars.
50 also thought it was weird that Jay-Z refers to himself as Jesus, and he told Rolling Stone in 2009 he has a king complex. He thinks he's effing Jesus. This Jay-hovish. And in that same interview, 50 also seemingly accused Jay of betraying people who are closest to him, like former Rockefeller artist Beanie Siegel. 50 said he didn't have their interests in mind, he was just doing what he had to do for himself. And it's not just 50 who thinks Jay ruined a lot of people to get to the top. Uncle Ron, who reportedly briefly worked as Beyoncé's bodyguard, claimed that both Jay and Beyoncé destroyed many people.
Beyoncé and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them. I say I ain't Biggie. Say I ain't Beanie Siegels. I ain't Freeway. How you wrote all them off the minute they did for you to get you to the top.
But Uncle Ron also said something about Beyoncé that fans think sounds very similar to what Cassie said about Diddy.
Yeah, Beyonce's on drugs. She been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way.
And then Jaguar Wright made even more serious claims, suggesting that a lot of people who were once in Jay's inner circle, like Big L, face tragic ends.
The first time I ever saw Jay-Z or even heard him spit a rhyme was at an MC battle, street battle in New York. But he didn't show up as Jay-Z. He didn't show up as the hottest rapper on the street. He showed up as the nigga that was with Big L.
Rest
For
in
those
peace.
of you.
Rest in peace, Big L.
Rest in peace, Big L.
One of the
That was the
dopest. One of the
sensei.
dopest.
Nobody expected the old clip to matter again. It was just a grainy moment from the early 2000s Diddy on stage, laughing, patting Jay-Z's back a little too hard. 2 superstars clowning around. But when 50 Cent resurfaced the footage and captioned it, proof Hov was at the freak-offs. The internet detonated. Every late-night whisper that hip-hop's cleanest billionaire might be hiding the same secrets as his wildest friend came roaring back. The real question isn't whether they partied together. It's why Jay-Z, a man who turns every press storm into champagne foam, hasn't said a single word. 50 woke up bored and chose chaos. He stitched together a spoof titled "Freak Off Matters," pasted Diddy's face over a 90s sitcom intro, and loaded his feed with screenshots of sealed NDAs. Social timelines exploded with laugh, cry emojis, and hot take threads. But veteran insiders noticed something else. Whenever 50 drags someone publicly, a court filing usually lands a few days later, and right on schedule, the headline hit: Federal prosecutors versus Sean Combs, a former girlfriend. Hidden behind the alias Jane, spent 4 days on the stand, describing drug-laced marathons filmed for private collections. Most people gasped. Industry veterans zeroed in on one detail. He said another rapper friend liked the same arrangement. No names on record, just a hint. The internet filled. In the blank, with that old clip of Diddy slapping Jay, and 50 kept stoking the fire every hour on the hour.
Then the nigga Puff was like, yeah, like, oh, it's like, yo, so yo, when we gonna get the chance to, you know, to kick it, like, we can just hang out. Like, we gotta kick it. Yo, why don't we, like, go shopping or some shit? I mean, like, I paid for it. And I was like, what the fuck this nigga just said?
Agents had already raided Combs Manor, hauling away gilded hard drives, stacks of NDAs, and more bottles of baby oil than a luxury spa stocks in a year. Prosecutors painted Diddy as the architect of a pay-to-play empire where aspiring dancers and male companions were flown in, groomed, and sometimes trapped. Week after week, witnesses repeated the same picture: forced encounters, hush money envelopes, and a private theater where select friends could watch the tapes. The indictment mentioned unindicted co-conspirators 13 times names, hidden for now. Every time prosecutors referenced a famous industry peer, sketch artists glanced toward the door, wondering if Jay-Z might appear. He never did. Instead, Hoff's calendar went blank: no brunches, no yacht photos, no surprise club verses. Paparazzi caught him once at the Grammys, trophy in hand. Exit stage left before the after-party. For 15 straight years, the ROC Nation brunch was the Super Bowl of networking. February 2024 should have been no different, and insiders whispered it was postponed indefinitely. No official reason, no new date, nothing. Fans floated theories. Maybe Beyoncé wanted a quiet season, but publicists agreed on the real risk. If Diddy showed up, the optics would destroy the brand. Banning him would look like betrayal. So the brunch died so the friendship could live at least in public. Jay and Bey skipped every big event that weekend, choosing a 10-minute cameo at a private gala before disappearing again. 6 months after Cassie's lawsuit blew the lid off Diddy's parties, a new civil suit landed with a thud. An anonymous Jane Doe claims Sean Combs and Sean Carter drugged and assaulted her when she was 13 at a 2000 after-party. Jay-Z's lawyers called it blackmail, moved to dismiss, but a judge let it proceed. Suddenly, every dormant rumor about Jay resurfaced. Singer Jaguar Wright jumped online, claiming Hov is worse just smarter than Diddy. A former bodyguard alleged Beyoncé was kept chemically calm, so the empire never cracked. TikToks exploded with hashtags like #FreeBay and #HOVKnows. Prosecutors quietly pulled flight manifests, expense reports, and offshore transfers, looking for overlaps: shared jets, shared staff, shared hush funds. If any line connected Jay-Z to Combs' operation, the silent billionaire could shift from bystander to material witness. 50 kept the pressure high. He reminded fans that Jay once called himself Hova, accused him of buying charts, and claimed Biggie's death left a throne ready-made. Whenever Jackson's trolling spiked, lawsuits seemed to follow. Fans now treated his timeline like a legal barometer. When 50 posted storm clouds, indictments rained. His newest move, a Netflix deal for a true crime docuseries, working. Titled Diddy Do It? The trailer flashes a still of Jay-Z and Diddy hugging on a yacht, a red target circling their wrists. No words necessary, the image screams. Same yacht, same storm. Conspiracy forums tallied the names of friends and colleagues who died before they could publish memoirs. Heavy D, Andre Harrell, Kim Porter. Official causes were pulmonary embolism, heart failure, pneumonia, but bloggers suggested a pattern. Anyone poised to write a tell, all vanished. 50 weaponized the whispers, telling a Miami crowd, Jay and Puff play chess, not checkers. Pieces disappear. Even if no court ever proves it, the idea that billion-dollar towers are built on hidden graves has become folklore. Shared in comment sections like campfire ghost stories. By week 6 of Combs' trial, the courtroom felt like a season finale. A juror was dismissed for lying about his address. Ye showed up in a full black mask just to glare at the prosecution. Reporters refreshed social feeds in real time. Buried in a government brief was the chill-inducing line, "We reserve the right to add co-conspirators as new evidence emerges." Translation: if Diddy falls under racketeering, anyone who helped move people, money, or silence might be next. Insiders whisper sealed subpoenas have already gone to former ROC affiliated employees. Jay-Z's team quietly hired another crisis PR firm. Financial investigators trace money the way DJs trace samples. One Delaware shell company tied to a Jay-Z advisor funded appearance fees at parties, later tied to Combs, a family trust. Linked to Beyoncé, reimbursed a jet service that also ferried 2 key witnesses. AROC Nation Foundation grant ended up paying hotel bills for accusers during the trial. Defense attorneys call it coincidence. Prosecutors don't believe in coincidence. Labels are pausing joint ventures. Brands are scrubbing social ads. Tiffany yanked a Jay-Z campaign 24 hours after new headlines. Rihanna posted a cryptic story. No idols, just humans, under bright lights. Kanye dropped a dove emoji beside a zipper mouth face, peace and silence. Even hip-hop's loudest voices sound cautious when billion-dollar empires tremble. Legal analysts explain the stakes in plain terms. Under racketeering, prosecutors don't have to prove Jay-Z assaulted anyone. They only need to show he knowingly helped conceal Combs' enterprise by funding a flight, hiding tapes, intimidating a witness. A single cooperating plea could put everything at risk, from streaming catalogs to champagne partnerships. Jay's usual serenity now looks like self-preservation. He can hand over receipts or watch agents knock at dawn. Meanwhile, Deed's website still loops the clip where Jay calls him the only man allowed to use his government name. That loyalty speech feels surreal while federal agents dissect 15 years of backroom deals. If Jay ever takes the stand against his friend, K, insiders believe Combs will retaliate with digital deadman videos. Said to name every star who ever stepped into a private theater. True or not, the rumor alone could vaporize brand equity. Overnight crisis specialists call it mutually assured destruction. If Jay cooperates, he saves himself, but dooms Diddy. If he stays silent and prosecutors land a conviction, they can roll the same charges downhill onto him. Of choice. Sacrifice. Loyalty or gamble, that silence buys time. No blueprint covers that dilemma. So where do we stand after endless reposts, weeks of testimony, and a brunch that never happened? 50 Cent has turned memes into mainstream coverage. Diddy sits in court fighting for his freedom while whispers of hidden tapes refuse to die. Jay-Z plays phantom no statements, no parties, no comfort zone. Silence once signaled control. Today, it smells like fear. Yet this story isn't just about 3 men. It's a stress test on music's flashiest myth, that greatness erases. Sin. The walls are closing in. Prosecutors reload. Documentarians polish final cuts. Fans refresh timelines. Combs goes down, subpoenas fly. If he walks, civil litigants chase deeper pockets, starting with the quiet billionaire who shared yacht, decks, and private jets. Either way, the next chapter writes itself in bright red ink. Remember, in an industry where loyalty often masks leverage, silence can be a confession. The biggest story in music this year isn't about chart numbers. It's about what happens when the cameras stop rolling. Lawyers hit unseal, and the world finally sees who was standing in the room. The origins of a power proceed, long before the private jets and champagne towers. A younger Sean Combs roamed Howard University's campus selling party dreams for $5 a head. Down in Brooklyn's Marcy Projects, Sean Carter sharpened hustler instincts, memorizing Scarface lines while flipping cassette tape freestyles for pocket change. Their paths converged in 1994 at Daddy's House Studio. Biggie Smalls in one booth. a lanky newcomer named Jay in the other. Puff saw raw potential. Jay saw the art of spectacle. A silent handshake locked them into different corners of New York, one blueprint for domination. Fast forward to 1997. Biggie's death cracked the culture open. Diddy filled the vacuum with shiny suit spectacle. Jay-Z flooded radios with hustler philosopher bars. Competitors on wax, collaborators in the shadows. They quietly traded secrets. How to double a budget, how to dance around sampling lawsuits, how to turn scandal into sales. They weren't best friends. They were co-authors of the modern hip-hop. Mogul myth. By 2003, they each ran mini empires. Bad boy. ROCA fella, but their bond tightened offstage. Private yacht parties in St. Tropez, midnight dinners in Tribeca, silent nods across VIP balconies. The industry read those glances like stock tips. If Puff and Hav were in sync, tidal waves were coming. Each acquired champagne brands, clothing lines, CROC and Armande Brignac, sparkling like trophies. They spoke in half sentences. Ace. Up. Deals closed with finger snaps. Fifth man on the CHSS BOA, RD enter, Curtis Jackson. The Queen's native understood product better than any one vitamin water. Effin' vodka, power shows, but he also understood that drama sells more than ads. By 2010, he'd battled Ja Rule, Rick Ross, and half of Murder, Inc. When the Diddy rumors reached critical mass, 50 smelled blood in billionaire waters. Targeting Puff alone was too predictable. Dragging Jay into the mix. That stirred every stan army at once. Eyes on his Instagram meant eyes on his TV projects, his Branson liquor, his book deals. Trolling wasn't petty. It was vertical integration. The Netflix doc is only the latest stage of that plan. Leaked pitch decks list 6 episodes. Family Matters, Money Flows, Dead Man Dropbox, Kingdom of NDAs. Ghosts in the Yacht Club, and a finale titled simply, Rico. Each episode ends on an interactive QR code, driving viewers to new evidence dumps, contracts, flight logs, archived live videos. Jackson's team calls it gamified true crime. Industry lawyers call it pre-trial jury poisoning. Either way, every drip fuels a cycle. Post-outrage, new viewers. Higher stock for G-Unit film and TV. The money is the MOTIV. Follow the cash and the story begins to glow in neon. Since 2010, Combs Global and various ROC-linked entities have co-invested in at least 7 luxury real estate flips. Manhattan penthouses, Miami marinas, a $40 million Malibu hideout briefly listed, then pulled. Joint LLCs hold half of a tequila label quietly valued at $600 million. They've co-signed touring insurance policies to keep premiums low when Beyoncé and Diddy both headline festival weekends. Separate brands on paper, Siamese wallets. Behind the curtain, that entanglement complicates everything. A RICO verdict could let litigants claim joint. Several liability, one win against Diddy might unlock Jay-Z's deeper pockets. Hedge funds that finance their spirits brands are already stress testing what happens if shareholder sentiment turns toxic. Sever your board ties now, or watch valuation evaporate, one memo warns. Insiders gossip that a certain blue label champagne may be quietly shopping for a new celebrity face before summer's end. Fans, stans, and the court of OPI known on social platforms, the debate splits generations. Older heads who grew up blasting Hard Knock Life say the accusations must be lies. Sean Carter escaped the streets through hustle and talent. Zoomers counter with stitched TikToks of old interviews where Diddy brags about taking JT shopping and Jay smiles awkwardly in the background. Every clip becomes Exhibit A or Exhibit B depending on caption text. Fan pages that once posted Beyoncé Dance Challenge mashups now host live stream debates over federal sentencing guidelines. The culture has never been this legally literate and never this bloodthirsty. Pop radio stations face their own dilemma. Vertically integrated conglomerates own both the airwaves and tour ticketing services. Pulling Jay-Z, Beyonce, or Puff from playlists means short-term moral points but long-term ticket losses. For now, they compromise. No daytime spikes. But catalog tracks survive late-night rotations. Executives pray for a verdict that lets them choose a stable side. What happens next? Scenario A. Diddy wins. The prosecution's case collapses. Civil suits flood in anyway, but he frames victory as vindication. Throws the wildest industry party since Club Live's heyday. Jay-Z attends, flashes a peace sign, claims the system worked. Spotify spins climb, blogs shrug. The machine rolls on. Scenario B. Diddy pleads. He trades a lighter sentence for sealed cooperation. Names land in envelopes that only prosecutors open for now. Jay-Z might skate publicly, but lives in permanent suspense, waiting to see whether his alias appears in footnotes unsealed years later. Scenario C. Diddy's convicted. Rico smashes the glass ceiling. Prosecutors widen the nutshell companies, charter flight rosters, foundation grants. Jay-Z is subpoenaed, perhaps indicted. Beyonce faces deposition about trust dispersals. Brands retreat. CNBC runs lower third tickers reading hip-hop recession. New moguls seize the vacuum. Drake's OVO empire, J. Cole's Dreamville. Rihanna's Savage XFE and TY stack. No matter the outcome, the culture changes. The next generation of artists will lawyer up from day one, keep tighter crews, record less. Off-camera and forever echoing backstage corridors will be the cautionary whisper. Don't let the yacht parties film. The cost of Celian Sea in Greek myth. Gods banqueted on ambrosia, immune to mortal judgment till hubris toppled them. Hip-hop created its own pantheon, and for 30 years, Jay-Z and Diddy sat among its tallest pillars. But ambrosia spoils. Under forensic light, fame records everything, and digital footprints never fade. Whether from a jury box or a Netflix autoplay queue, a reckoning is coming. When it lands, remember how it started. A playful slap, a trolling caption, a meme that felt too silly to matter. The next time you scroll past a grainy clip and a laughing emoji pause. History loves to hide its views inside a joke, and revolutions begin with someone hitting share.